Welcome back to the Great World Podcast. I'm your host, Isaac Hedges, joined once again by co-host Jake Fulmer and special guests Jerrith Huber, Isaac Granton, Christian Klepac, and River Burke. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're glad to have you on. All right. So, Jake, what are we looking at today?
Well, we are going to, our first topic for today is going to be cheesecake. Okay? Ooh. So, what do we know about cheesecake? Does anybody know anything in particular?
I think that we need to put more crust on it because that's like one of the best things. Graham cracker crust, we need more.
I like to see much of the actual
Alright.
cheesecake. Because sometimes it's overwhelming.
All I know is I'm not a huge fan of it.
You're a freak.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Cheesecake isn't actually
Can you kick him out?
cheesecake, although it does have the name cake in it. It's not considered a cake. It's more of a custard or a pie.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that before. So, do we know kind of where cheesecake originated from?
Yes.
Or how it started?
It was originally like ancient Greece.
Oh.
They would feed them to their athletes right before they went to go perform at the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. Well, those were some lucky athletes.
I'm not becoming an athlete, but back in ancient Greece.
maybe you can impersonate an athlete in ancient Greece.
Yeah, eat all the cheesecake you want.
So that's our number one activity if we learn time travel.
Yeah.
Visit ancient Greece.
Get some free cheesecake?
Impersonate an athlete, get some free cheesecake. That's what I'm talking about.
I think it's a
That'd
good
be
plan.
top priority. So, what are your favorite kinds of cheesecake, guys?
Like classic strawberry or like
Yeah.
a fruit flavor.
Hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah, I like a classic strawberry's my favorite.
I haven't had a whole lot of flavors. I need to try some more variety.
I can't say that I have either. I can't say
Yeah.
I'm a real seasoned cheesecake connoisseur.
I bet blueberry would be good. I've never had it though.
Care to weigh in on this, Jake? What are your thoughts on cheesecake?
I think it's pretty good. You know, I think it's really good on certain occasions.
On
Like, what are some
occasions.
good occasions for cheesecake?
Thanksgiving.
Like you could have
Christmas.
some, maybe like your graduation party, make a bunch of little mini cheesecakes.
Birthdays?
Birthday parties are really good.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
That's how I usually go on birthdays.
Christmas?
Very nice.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Christmas.
Depending on the
Literally
cheesecake.
any day. You don't even have to be a celebration. You can just
Yeah.
make a cheesecake
Yeah.
because you want a cheesecake.
Yeah, why do we have to have a reason?
We don't.
Yeah,
Because
but I want
cheesecake
to.
is
I mean, heck,
great.
cheesecake day can be every day.
Monty the Mole agrees that we should have cheesecake every day of the week.
And that reminds me, we forgot to introduce another special
Yeah,
guest,
yeah.
Monty the Mole.
Monty.
So,
Yes.
First.
Our first mole guest.
Yeah.
Oh, very first.
He's happy to be here.
Great World
Well,
Podcast.
as much as he can be.
You think this is the first podcast to ever have a mole on it?
I think it may be. Great World Podcast is the first in a number of areas, but I believe certainly the first to have a mole on as a guest.
He's just gonna
Yep.
sit right
Gonna
here.
be right
So
there.
thanks for coming on, Monty. We're glad to have you.
He's tired. He's had a long day. He's tired.
He's just taking a nap.
He's had a long day.
He's just taking a nap.
Definitely alive.
Yeah. Definitely.
He's had a long day.
Steve's moving around. He's moving across the table.
Squeak.
Yes. Old Fred Monty, he's as fit as a fiddle. Right
Do you
now.
think Monty wants some cheesecake?
Monty would love cheesecake.
You like some cheesecake?
Well,
He
we'll have to
whispers
order
into my
some in.
ear, and yeah, he says
I
that
wasn't
he
going
loves
to, but for
cheesecake.
Monty, I may just order some in.
I can bake it.
You can bake
I've
it?
made cheesecake multiple times.
Very nice.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he likes cheesecake a lot. He likes like.
Ask him what his
Very
favorite
nice.
flavor is.
Yeah, what's your
Okay.
favorite flavor?
I think it's cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon
Cinnamon
cheesecake.
Wow.
That sounds interesting.
Wow.
That's actually
Yeah.
interesting.
I can,
Yeah.
Nice choice,
Cinnamon
Monty. Even
cheesecake.
though I've never had it.
As I
Here
said
for
before,
Monty.
of course, I'm certainly not a seasoned connoisseur of cheesecake, but it appears that we now have one on the air. So thanks for
Yeah.
coming on, Monty. We did not know that you were a cheesecake expert. So,
He says he's happy to be on.
so that covers cheesecake. Another excellent one, chocolate cheesecake. How do you guys feel about that?
I've
I'm
actually
not a
never
big
had
fan of
it.
chocolate stuff.
Oh yeah.
Alright, we gotta go around. Favorite flavor, Jerrith.
Which is the classic strawberry.
Classic strawberry, okay. I
Any
think
and all of them, they're all amazing.
all of them, not just one.
No, I
think
can't.
one
I
particular.
can't take
Christian.
that one.
I'm not a huge fan of cheesecake. Respectfully.
What kind? Oh, yeah.
Not
okay.
any kind? You don't
Okay.
have any kind that's a favorite just because you're not a fan?
I don't like any cheesecake.
Alright, River?
I like cheesecake that has a lot of graham cracker crust, because that's like one of my favorite parts. Just a ton of graham cracker crust.
Graham cracker crust is
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It is better when you have that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
What about if you put some strawberries on top?
Oh,
of it,
yeah.
too? Really
Fresh
good
strawberries.
combination.
That's great.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great.
Mhm. Well, y'all mentioned the classic strawberry cheesecake. I think what's perhaps more classic than that is the original New York style cheesecake, not strawberry, just plain old cheesecake.
Yeah.
And I believe it's
Ooh,
hard to
yeah.
go wrong with that. A true classic, I'd say. So call me boring, but that's my personal favorite.
No, it's pretty good. Very good.
It is pretty good.
It's good to go
Sometimes
back
you
to
Jake,
go
what's
back
your
to-
favorite flavor?
Yeah, sometimes you have to go back to the basics. I have to say the original cheesecake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very original. you
All
know?
right.
So I believe that covers cheesecake, unless you all have any burning questions.
Not really.
So when it comes to cheesecake, I guess speak now or forever hold your peace.
What else
All
does
right.
the cheesecake
You
expert
ready for a
say?
whole piece
Monty?
of cheesecake?
Oh yes, how could we forget Monty?
You got any interesting facts for
He
us?
likes his crust made out of dirt. Probably because he's a mole.
Interesting choice. Yes, I would explain it.
It's like mud
Explain.
cake.
Yeah.
No. Even so, that's a wider variety of cheesecake.
That is pretty
Yeah.
So.
It's like a different species entirely.
So, that covers cheesecake. Now, another thing we've all been dying to get to, I know, musicals. What are your favorite musicals, guys?
Either Greatest Showman or Hamilton. I know they're basic, but they're good. Oh, nope. Be More Chill. Not a whole lot of people have seen that one, but that is my favorite.
I've not seen a whole lot of musicals. The only one I've really seen is Annie.
Anna?
Oh, yeah,
I
I've
That was
seen
good.
it.
Well,
That was-
if you're going to see one musical, that's not a bad one.
I have
Yeah.
to say it's the first musical I'm ever performing in Emma.
Yeah, me and Isaac are both in Emma. For the community, I'm in Annie.
Okay.
And so when can that be seen for everybody
Oh.
here who's
Um,
local?
I'm not for Emma. I think that's May 8th through 10th.
So that's during the weekend, like kind of.
I think
Is it
so.
Thursday through Saturday? Thursday the 8th through Saturday the 10th? Does that sound right?
Something along those lines. And then for Annie, I'm not sure, but I know that they keep us posted on Facebook.
I will check what the dates are for Emma.
Yeah.
Excellent. And that is through partnership with our Nevada R5 School District Performing Arts Center and the Community Center for the Performing Arts, the CCPA.
Yep.
Otherwise associated in Nevada, Missouri with the Fox Playhouse. But because the facilities at the Public Schools Performing Arts Center has a bit more to work with, that's where the show is going to be. So if you're interested in seeing it, that's one you won't want to miss. So Granton is currently pulling up the dates. We'll put out those dates, and if you want to reach out, we can answer any questions that you might have on that. And if Jake and I here are not able to answer them ourselves, we can certainly get in touch with the cast and let you know. So if you have any
Yep.
questions, you can always put those in the comment below the video. You can send them in to us, GWP International at att.net. That's GWP-international@att.net. So let us know, and don't hesitate to reach out, because this is not one that you'll want to miss.
Nope.
Granton, do we have any idea when that's going to be?
It will be in May.
It'll be in May. Okay.
So very soon, coming up.
So coming up very soon. Very, very soon.
How excited are you, River, about this?
I'm pretty excited.
About reading it?
Yeah, the whole we put a lot of work in it, and I didn't necessarily get a character that I wanted, but it's still fun to be
Well,
a
that's
part
still
of
an
it.
honor to be featured
Right,
in it.
yeah.
So have you been in many musicals before?
I haven't. This is my first musical, but I've
First
been in
musical.
I've been in a bunch of other plays. Me and Isaac were also both in Our Place. That was a fun one. We got to hit him on top of the head with an oar, a canoe oar. That was great.
Now, Granton, have you been in a musical before yourself?
No.
Okay,
This is
not
my
before.
first.
First time.
It's not my first time performing on stage. but
Right.
It is my first time in a musical.
Excellent. So I imagine, are you looking forward to that as well?
Yes, performing arts is I'm everything involved in performing arts.
Excellent.
As much as I can.
Great. That's a great cause to be involved in. So were you able to find out the date for that musical?
I'm confused on how she has them listed because she has pretty sure we're going to be performing like what,
Alright.
4 days or something.
Great. So there will be multiple showings of that,
Okay.
but you want to catch at least one of those, and might even recommend watching multiple because it is going to be great. So we'll keep y'all posted
When it comes
On
to
the
our
United
cast, we
States
worked
for
really
those.
hard on it.
I'm,
yeah.
I'm confused on the exact dates because she has it listed as performance, but she has on like 17 different days. I'm pretty sure we're not going to perform 17 times.
No.
Not
No,
so
I'm
much.
pretty sure the poster just said the 8th through 10th. I don't know what time that is though.
I'm assuming it's going to start like 6 maybe?
8
Or
to
does that
10.
seem a little late?
I don't know. We'll see.
Very nice. So, any other musicals that y'all have seen?
SpongeBob musical.
SpongeBob musical. Really, I can't say I'm familiar with that. What can you tell us about it?
I don't know. Some of the showings of it were pretty good, and some were not the greatest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they probably could have grabbed better actors for it.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos of online of people doing that, and some of them look pretty interesting.
It was comical.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Excellent. So we've sort of asked everyone else their favorite musical, but I believe there's one guest that we've forgotten, that being Auntie the Mole. So perhaps our resident cheesecake connoisseur would also like to weigh in on the topic of musicals.
He's saying something.
Yes, Monty would like to hear what your favorite musical is, my friend.
I don't even know what it is.
They're dying to know.
Apparently there's one called Musical Moles that he's seen in person.
Oh, yes.
I can't say I know what that is, but Monty
Well-
says it's a huge thing in his world.
Well,
When
knowing,
he was-
knowing Monty and the well-distinguished gentleman that he is, being
Yeah.
well acquainted with high society, I'd say that's far more highbrow than any of us have ever
Yeah.
encountered, really. So,
He's probably just like 2 up there, way above us.
Yes.
For us to know.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
He's too amazing. We're not on his level yet.
Right,
And I respect that.
right. As do I. Great to hear from you, Monty, my friend.
Yep.
So,
Just don't. Oh.
He's so tired.
Jake,
He seems to be sleepy.
he is. Well,
He's had a long day.
I would say so. Jake, would you like to weigh in at all on the topic of musicals?
Yes. Okay. Well, actually, first, does he need to take a nap?
He might be a little bit tired.
All right. Well, how about we go ahead and
Make him a little
Oh, yeah, it's a
tissue
nice
man.
little bed.
Oh,
yeah.
Might need to warm
you'll
up.
love that. Yeah, we
Okay.
can put him
Yes.
on here.
Right there,
Yeah.
and then as a little blanket.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll fold this into a pillow for him.
Now, if you all should ever be interested in coming on the Great World Podcast as a guest, you will get the very best treatment.
And just
If you
remember,
fall asleep, well,
you can be
it's
anything.
meant for you.
You can
Just
even
like
be a
Monty.
mole.
You can even be a mole.
Oh, that's probably not.
They'll accept you whatever you are.
Yep.
Even if you're a mole.
That's
If you're
right.
a mole watching this, we encourage you to.
We encourage the rights and equal
Equal rights of
He
all.
needs it.
we support the equality and rights of moles and
And-
other rodents alike.
And we appreciate the support of all of our mole
I
viewers
don't
out
think that they
there.
can't see him.
Of all moles
Yes.
and rodents alike.
Since
Can I
probably
show
about
him
half
off
of
a
you
little
are
bit?
moles.
Yes, and our rodent audience, as a whole.
Should I show him off a little bit?
Oh yes,
A
absolutely.
little bit.
Here we go. We got his little
Boy,
Monty
poor
the
guy.
Mole.
Calm
There's
down.
his little.
Monty,
Oh no, he's
Monty, my
blanket.
friend,
It's gonna
you
get cold.
Monty,
Can't
we've
go
got to
home.
make a
It's gonna
rescue.
get cold.
Monty,
Oh, there we go.
Not
It's
fret, my
okay,
friend.
Monty. I know you're just tired.
Things
Not at
get
all.
holding on to it.
So now that we've got Monty
Maybe
covered
they
and
won't.
we've got musicals covered,
Let's go on to the last topic for today,
there's another thing:
which is
societal decline.
yes.
So I believe, Christian, you've talked a little bit about this before. What are your thoughts on that, and the direction we're headed in as a society? You've said some things in the past about societal decline. Perhaps taking it a step further, what are your thoughts?
So my personal thoughts and beliefs on it is since COVID and the whole lockdown and quarantine happened, we have slowly been decreasing as society. We obviously I do not say this to offend anybody. I'm just going to point that out real fast. But the showing of intelligence has decreased significantly. There has been a lot more violence and a lot more uproars in society. And I just feel like we aren't as great or as set off as we were before or in the past.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say because the lockdown, that was something fairly unusual being stuck in our homes during COVID, and that took a fair bit of adjustment, so it's understandable that coming out of that, people would need some time to readjust, but
Yeah.
God willing, as I say, the pendulum always swings back, and perhaps it will before long, but Christian, sounds like you're of the opinion that we're still in decline. Really, what about you guys? Would you all like to weigh in on it?
I have something.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the validity of it,
Okay.
but I've
Well, I
read.
would love to hear it.
I read somewhere that we have actually been on decline for like societally, like I don't know how to explain, but we've been on
Uh-huh.
decline for like the last 100, 200 years.
For the last 100, in terms of intelligence mainly?
Not sure if it's intelligence, but
So you have like a similar viewpoint as Christian, but the timeline's a lot different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to kind of pitch in a question of why do you see decline in the past 100, 200 years?
Well, with all the introduction of new technology
Okay.
and all that, we've been getting a lot. We've become more relaxed.
Right.
Yeah.
As we become more reliant on technology.
Yeah, we've become
Yeah.
more reliant on technology. And nowadays, whenever something happens with technology, people get all scared that something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So to kind of pitch in on the technology being kind of a scary subject and people getting scared of technology, I have been followed up with a series on TikTok. It's like a guy built a robot, but it has the ability to see, feel, and has a mind of its own, so it can it acts just like a normal human being. To the point of one day he was working on this thing, and he cut the camera that was using to see. It sprang to life, said, "Father, I'm scared," because it couldn't see, and started having an absolute flip out moment.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. It gets to the point where it's a little
Too real.
Sounds
iffy.
almost
Like
scary.
you see those horror movies about like
Oh,
Yeah.
AI
so
taking over,
it's
and
bad,
then
it's bad enough that one night right before he went to bed, the AI said, "Father, I have a question," and then he was like, "We can talk about anything, just don't ask about birds and the bees." He's like, "Father,
Wow.
what's my purpose?"
oh man, it's getting like philosophical.
Yeah, a little
Wow.
bit.
That is eerie, and that's a topic that we've covered extensively here on the Great World Podcast, an ongoing series on artificial intelligence. And as you all said, proceeding with that, of course, largely untested waters and a number of ethical concerns associated with it. That all plays in a great deal to, quite possibly, of course, if we're taking the whole pessimistic approach, that society is in considerable decline and has been for some time, which is your argument, correct?
Yeah.
That it has been that way for some time. So, you say that society's in active decline and has been for a while now. What do you think it would take to counteract that in order for things to actually improve? What would it take?
I'm not sure. I feel like I
Just-
have to. Go ahead.
Well, maybe like a world leader to step forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in
Is that kind of where you were going?
Yeah, I feel like someone or some group of people would have to step forward and
Sure.
try bringing about a change of some sort. I don't know what that change might be. Just that's what I feel like needs to happen.
I feel like limiting the use of technology, especially social medias, would help a lot with that.
yeah.
Because a lot of people don't like or use social media like every day, 24/7 just about. And it doesn't really help intelligence or other stuff,
Yeah.
So to kind of add on
like
to
insecurities and stuff like that.
kind of add on
That
to
For
is-
sure. For sure.
Right, that is except for listening to the Great World Podcast on YouTube, which
Yeah.
is deeply educational. Yes.
I think with the decline, I've seen a lot of things where people are worried because there's a large group of people who have earned like a bunch of their rights over the years, and lately there's been a lot of hate for that kind of stuff and trying to take away what certain people have already like earned as a community.
I feel like a way we could come back from this decline is to kind of go along with what Jerrith Huber were saying about reliance on technology. If human beings were able to get more of a reliance on themselves, or kind of regain the ability to think for themselves and not rely on all the machines, technology, and whatnot around them, that I feel like they'd be a lot better off.
Right, those
Yeah.
new technologies, it's excellent to be able to use them as a tool, but you don't want to become overly reliant on them.
For
That's
sure.
Yeah.
not a hole that we want to fall into. Now, we've talked a great deal about the societal decline, and there seems to be a consensus, at least among a few of you, that we've been in societal decline for some time and are actively in that position. And I think it's fairly unobjectionable to say that, COVID played a part in that, and say, that the lockdowns, they were unexpected, and coming out of that, people had to adjust a fair bit, and because they had gone for a while without interacting with people as much, well, they didn't really know how to do that as well. But just to push back on the idea that we're in consistent decline, things have at least begun to come back to normal a bit.
Since the
Since the
lockdown.
aftermath,
Yeah.
say at the very least, since the aftermath of COVID. And Jake, we haven't heard a lot from you. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Well, I think we've got to look at it like this. Are we coming back from, social distancing, wearing masks and everything, plus, intelligence because we're all interacting with each other and becoming less technology reliant? Or are we just coming back with this new technology mindset? Like, if we return from lockdown, like now we all interact with one another and everything's good, but if we still not regained, that sense of community and understanding,
Right, in other words, that's-
under reliance on
Right.
technology.
In other words, perhaps that sort of sense of community, way of interaction that we perhaps lost during the lockdowns, you're suggesting we may never have gained that back completely?
I think so. I think there's definitely a good possibility in that.
I think also with the lockdown, there was a lot of people who did come together, and a lot of people, like, all over the internet were, like, really, they weren't afraid to, like, be themselves. And so there's a few nice things that have come from that, but it's still not all great.
Right.